Okay, how we going? Um, this is a. This isn't so much about the content. This is more about. Um, gaming industry being absolutely fucked, like beyond fucked, and I can 100% place all of the blame on CDPR. But I'm talking about Saints Row. What a Saints Row game is, should be, was, needs to be, kind of thing. I'm on Saints Row the third because, in my opinion, this is the peak. Saints Row 2 and 3 were the best in the series. 2 had the most in the game. 3, they upped the graphics, the character rigging, the way it moved and all that. So that's what I'm on here. I'm going to show you all this sort of stuff and talk about the points and stuff and what I believe that needs to be done in the new Saints Row to make it a Saints Row. Now, before anyone makes any comments going, "Oh, you're a perv," or "You're a sicko," or why does that need to be added?" That sort of stuff. It's like, this is. I want to say it's just my opinion, but a lot of this is facts based. But some of it is my opinion. I will say if it's my opinion, but if I don't say that, then it's a general consensus that this is what fans miss, need, and want. So, first off the bat, the character rigging in the new one and this one are very similar. They're really good rigging. But where the new one falls short is the animations. This one, when you run, you walk, it all feels relatively normal. It's like, you feel like a human being running around. The new one, it's got a little bit of jankiness to it, especially when you start to go, oh yeah, I want to sneak up on something. Different control schemes, aren't they? But, I keep doing it again. Okay, let's put the weapon away. When I'm crouching, that is a kneel. That is a crouch. When you go into combat, just say you're pulling out your pistol. Let's pull out a pistol. That is how a person with a pistol would move. Not this thing that's in the new Saints Row. That is a squat. That is a person who's got diarrhea, and they're trying to find a place to plonk it. This is how it should be moving. So the animations are jank as holy hell on the new one. That seriously has to be adjusted. Climbing stuff. This fence here, if this was Saints Row the new reboot, I wouldn't be able to get over it. I can get over it on this one. In the new one, you just sort of like do a hop, and then you can't do anything. Where's climb? This is all just on getting around the world, because the new one's world isn't a bad world. The map's not bad. It has its issues, but so does this map. But this map is a hell of a lot better than the new one, and it's sad to say, but the first map is probably the best one. So locomotion, animations, they need to adjust everything on that, on the new one, on the reboot. Now, not getting into details too much, but simple things like a lot of GTA does it bad. The rigging. When a character, for example, does the kneel, the in brackets private area, your crotch and your hips and your bum cheeks and stuff like that, they move in a certain way. This game has it pretty close. It's almost perfect, in my opinion. The new one is a little bit worse, but still really good. GTA is way broken. When the part that you can't see, where the lady parts are, if you want to call it that, to be politically correct, because, you know, a lady has not what a male... Not going to get into that. That part does not slide forward when you do this move. It stays... It's fixed to the hip. So the way Rockstar do it is way wrong. The way Saints Row do it is correct. The reboot almost has it correct. It does. Some of the faces do move incorrectly, but it's better than Grand Theft Auto.
On strippers.
Same with like the shoulders. When your shoulders move in a certain way, I'm jumping so you can see the shoulders. Actually, if I do a no, because it just the top part. It's hard. Seriously, it's hard to explain. But imagine there's two pivots, because you've got the shoulder pivot, but then you've got the pivot of what the muscle is doing. In real life, it's just the one, but because you've got muscles, when you're rigging a character, that's why a lot of these models and dolls and stuff like that, they have two joints. They have a ball joint and usually some sort of hinge. With the knee, for example, there are two hinges on the knee, so you can bend a long way. With the rigging of the characters, they need to allow for that by making we'll say morphs, for it to morph correctly when the joint is moved, not incorrectly. And a lot of games do it wrong, especially on elbows, shoulders, knees, and the hip. Wrists, ankles you can get away with, because a lot of the time you're not looking that closely at those joints. But when your character is moving around, you're looking at those joints. Texture quality in the third here isn't bad. It's very, I want to say anime-like, or cartoonish, or over the top. Whereas Saints Row Reboot, they've tried to go a little bit more realistic. They did manage to keep the same sort of over-the-top-ish look, but with a little bit more detail. So I will give them that. But that's as far as the Saints Row breed has gone into this reboot. The rigging and the look. That's it. All the rest of the stuff, it's lacking. And I'm going to touch on a lot of the things here as well. And if Volition, or the ex-Volition, see this is what needs to be fixed for it to become a Saints Row game. And I will also say what needs, in my opinion, to be done for it to be a great game. Animations, all that sort of stuff has to be fixed. This is how your character should be moving when sneaking. Not the crap it does, not this pop and a squat crap it does on the reboot. Now when it comes to things like character editor and stuff like that, the reboot has it really good. Their options and stuff like that are good, except for the limitations. Let us have a option to turn off the slider limitations. That'd be great. And censorship. Throw that in the garbage bin. The fact that we cannot turn off the lower body part mosaic, fuck that off. Give us the option to turn it off. Minimum. This is minimal. It has to be done for it to become a Saints Row game. No mosaics, and keep hitting that button because it's set. And bring this back. 100% guaranteed. Bring that back. Veins and all. To the countries that don't like the veins bin in it, stiff shit. Any country or any company that wants to censor anything is a shit country or company. It's just simple. And let's be honest, it's going to be the governments. It's going to be some. I'm going to be very, very stereotypical here. It's usually an overweight lesbian that causes the issues. Let's be honest. Because a homosexual, a male guy that likes males, he usually doesn't care. Like if you want to view certain things, he doesn't care. He'll think it's disgusting, but he doesn't care. But the overweight lesbian who's not getting any. She gets cranky, and then everyone's got to bow down to her. It's like, no. The Saints Row was always about the crude, funny, dirty poo jokes or fart jokes. It was always about that. That was the spine of Saints Row. You used to be able to streak. You used to be able to flash. You can streak in Saints Row the Third, but you can't flash. Everything that was great about Saints Row 2, half of it disappeared in Saints Row 3. The flashing, you can't run around with the trench coat on and go, ooh, check it out. You can't do any of that in the reboot. No streaking, no flashing, nothing. No giant purple dildo bat called the Penetrator. The septic truck that used to drive around in Saints Row 2, I believe 2 had it still, where you could fling shit on stuff. Where's that? That's the shit that needs to come back for this game to be for Saints Row the reboot to be a Saints Row game. Now, sticking with the characters, in my opinion, if they want to make the game great, they need to add anatomy to the characters. In my opinion, get rid of the mosaic, has to be done. But if they add, admittedly it wouldn't be that size, but the purple dildo bat that you can attach to the crutch, so you can be a male or a female, that would make so many more people buy the game, and so many more people have fun with the game, that even if it's just the people that want to go on there and have a good laugh, because that's what we used to play Saints Row for, was a good laugh, because it was never a serious game. Bringing out a reboot and saying, oh, we're going to repay our student loans. For one, Saints Row was never about students. And loans? What? Alright, now let's talk about gameplay. In Saints Row the Third, 2 was the same. Any NPC I could walk up to and do a special attack on. That's a cop. Let's sneak. I want to grab something that is not, yeah, some lady. I can walk up to her, boom. Where the fuck is that in the reboot? Once you've got them, you can do the neck snap, or you can throw them.
This is why I joined you.
This is so much more fun. Just the fact I can grab any person off the street is so much more fun than all this shit they've added in the reboot. Alright. This is more entertaining than all of the reboot. That little section right there. Oh, go away, will you? That has to change. Like, give us our carefree, non-restrictive gameplay. If we want to do something, let us do it. That's what Saints Row was about. It wasn't about paying off your student loan. It was about, can I grab a person from off a building? Let's put that away. audio, they're both. The reboot, the car sounds are a lot nicer. The fact that you can swap the audios between the cars is great. The customization in the new one is great. It's dying because the fun stuff is missing. Poo jokes, fart jokes, penis jokes, attacking any NPC on the ground. Look, he's a random. I can grab him. He's a military. I can grab him. I grabbed him. Use him as a human shield. So much more fun.
It's a trap. Retreat.
As weird as it looks, it is still so much more fun.
We're all gonna die.
And there's the throw. That is missing from the reboot. Fun. Entertainment. If they want to make the game good again, they need to give us back our purple dildo bat. They need to give us back the septic truck. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Bare minimum, dildo bat. Bare minimum, fart jokes. Bare minimum, get rid of that bottom mosaic. Bare minimum. Fix the bugs and do that. If they want to make the game great, things like add extra stuff that we can play around with that would be fun. So for me, being a mature adult who likes, I play Conan because Conan is it's got no censorship and it's fun and entertaining when it's not broken. Let me edit my character. No restrictions. Take that, have the sliders there, but have a little mark so we can tick it to turn the sliders off. So I can give it a massive head. Give us some anatomy pieces so we can make the males be anatomically correct with no mosaic. Have it flap around in the wind, so when we're doing all our crazy shit, we've got our little thing flapping around in the wind. We can have a giggle at it and have fun. I remember watching a video on YouTube about a guy who was playing Conan and his character's animation bugged out, and his character bent over backwards while swimming across the water, naked, and his thing was like a propeller. It was funny. That's what Saints Row was about. Is it funny? Is it entertaining? Then do it. None of this is it politically correct, which is / incorrect. They say, oh, we want to be inclusive, but they're excluding their fan base. Saying you like the homosexuals and that sort of stuff is great and all. Saying you support them is great and all. But when you're doing it but excluding your original fan base, you're bending the knee to the artificial standing of we support, then that's a bad thing. If you want to be inclusive, do not take a single thing out of the game. Add things. Don't take the uncensored away. Add extra stuff. That's inclusive. Taking stuff away is excluding. That's the opposite of what you're saying you're doing. Oh, we're inclusive, but we're going to take the ability to play the game uncensored. That's excluding the people who want to play it uncensored. You're excluding the people who want to grab NPCs off the street. You're excluding the people who want to whack shit. I keep running instead of that. Whack shit with a giant purple dildo bat, which is actually very funny. Watch.
Murder time! Fight time!
How much fun is this? compared to the new game. Hell of a lot more fun. Some people say that the superpowers in 4 ruined it. I'm on the fence with it. I didn't mind it. The graphical glitchiness and stuff of that other game, I didn't like. The fact that if you wanted to play the game without that, you had to activate cheats, I didn't like. But it was fun, over the top, and that's what Saints Row was about. This whole let's do a fake politically correct bullshit was not fun. It's not fun. It's bullshit. I want to be able to play on the reboot as a naked, whatever my character wants to be. That's inclusive, whatever it wants to be. So if I want to be a buff chick with a 9-incher, then I should be allowed to be that. That's inclusive. But no, you're excluding the people who want their character to be that. To say, okay, you can only be a Barbie, or a Ken, or an in-between, but censored. I also want to run around and hit people with a giant purple dildo bat. Letting me do that would be inclusive. But no, you're excluding the people who want to hit people with purple dildo bats. I want to play a game where I can go to a place called Rim Jobs. I am never going to call Rim Jobs Jim Robs. It's Rim Jobs. It's always been Rim Jobs. It always will be Rim Jobs because it's a play on the sexual act. Saying we want to be inclusive and taking away the funny, dirty jokes isn't inclusive. That's excluding the people who like dirty, funny jokes. Rim Jobs. You go there to get your rims on your car worked on. So it's a rim job. But a rim job to an adult who the game is aimed at knows that has another meaning. Now, if anyone's curious about the character, I've chosen a skin colour that matches the underwear to make the character look naked. You can't actually get them, because this has the mosaic as well. But the fact that in the reboot, there was a glitch we used to be able to do to have the mosaic go away. You know, be the game we want to play. Minus the fact that we can't use a purple dildo bat, or a septic truck, or go to Rim Jobs. It was closer to that game. It was closer to this. They patched it. Instead of being inclusive like they say they are, and leaving it in there or adding the option just to turn it off,
I got an idea. You
they patch it.
cops. I'll set up a camcorder.
That
and
needs
catch
to
it on
stop.
Tape. Then we send it to them as a fuck you.
Using coarse language. I don't think I've ever heard them swear in the reboot. Oh no, they do say a couple of swear words. But it's so lame, it's like, it's not inclusive.
Yeah, and? No one beats a saint.
This game has so much more entertainment factor in it than the reboot. Purely because of the crudity. Because of the humour in it, like, rim jobs. That in itself explains everything. They didn't want to be, in brackets, politically incorrect. So they swapped the R and the J over. That's not being politically correct. That's being politically incorrect. Look up the definition of politically correct. Your so-called inclusive terminology would mean that you leave rim jobs as it is. Add an option in the menus to change them around. Yeah, that's fine. But to take my ability to play a game and go to rim jobs, that's not inclusive. That's excluding. That's now excluding me from playing the game I wanted to play, that I bought, that I was hoping for, that I became a fan of. Now, as I was saying with the game, this game is not perfect. Like, I just walked in and he said the Rusty Needles intro to a rim job. But simple things like, let's send over here. Let's bring up the map. Let's talk about the map. The reboot has a decent map, but when I go to a clothing store, like for example, Nobody Loves You, it's an actual store. Planet Saints is open by default, and it's an actual store. You can go into it. Then we've got down here, Let's Pretend. It's an actual store. You go through some doors to an interior, to a counter and buy stuff. Not a little shack on the side of the road, but in an actual store. It has a casino you can go into. It's got multiple safe houses. You can customize. Gun shops. Let's Pretends. Not Let's Pretend. Images Design. Now the new one, you do it in your phone. But just simply adding a store you can go to do it as well, that would add so much more to it. The workshops, rim jobs. In this game, Saints Row the Third, where I am right now. Oh, I want to buy some clothing. I feel like buying, I don't know, a string bikini. Planet Saints doesn't sell string bikinis. They sell hoodies and pants. I have to grab a car, drive to a store that will sell that, go into the store that will sell that, because it's got an interior, to buy the product I want. That shit needs to come back.
You got a problem with me?
So now that I'm done talking about Saints Row and what needs to be done and all that, Volition, please stop taking shit out of the game. Add shit. Add stuff. Remove or give us the option to turn off the lower body part mosaic minimum to be inclusive. Because you're excluding people who do not want to play with a epilepsy-inducing mosaic. Or some stupid, retarded, moronic, idiotic sticker emoji thing. I don't want none of that shit. I want my character there on the screen. Now some crap. I want my purple dildo back. And I'm willing to bet every other Saints Row fan will say the exact same thing. Give us the penetrator. Minimum. Septic truck. Minimum. The dirty jokes. Minimum. None of this paying off our loans. We want fart jokes. Poo slinging. We want to be able to giggle at things flapping around. Us as mature adults want to be able to go back to our childhood and go at the moment we can't do that with any game on in the industry. We used to be able to do it with Saints Row. Used to. Volition. Used to. Bring it back. That will save your game. Poo flinging, fart jokes, penetrators, no mosaic. That will bring back your fans. Then you can add stuff that isn't 3 missions of repetitive crap as a DLC which breaks the menus. That will save your game. Because the newest DLC that came out, when you added the DLC screen on your main menu and you click on all of them and it goes, it cannot be displayed at the moment because the links are busted. That's not the shit you need. Don't add that screen. Get that screen and fuck it off. We can go to the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Store or the Steam Marketplace, where the fuck they call it on Steam, and purchase through there. So long as the game runs, it doesn't crash, we have a purple dildo bat, no mosaics, and it's fun, we will play it.
Is a two-headed, three-titted pirate lady. Promise.
That comment would never happen in the reboot. I want to get this three-titted pirate tattoo. So I'm out of here. That's what this video is about. But to end it, I just want to add the fact that I said this nearly 3 years ago. CD Projekt Red has destroyed, ruined and broken the gaming industry because they came out with a product, broke the law by releasing the product in the incorrect state and refusing to fix it. I made the statement. This is going to cause a butterfly effect and everyone else is going to follow suit. And they have done it.
I'm the best around.
Every game that has come out since CD Projekt Red started breaking the law with Cyberpunk, because they are breaking the law. The product we bought is being refused to be delivered. And not because they can't, it's because they don't want to. They've stated this in an email to me. We know it's incorrect. We don't care. We're not fixing it. That is what they said in the email. And any federal government that wants a copy of this email, I'm happy to share it with you. Until CD Projekt Red are taken to court and forced to fix it. Same with all the other companies that have followed suit. Dambuster, Volition, all these other companies that have half-assed their products and released it in the incorrect state. And once that is finished, the gaming industry will come back. But at the moment, it is dead. It is a corpse floating in the water. So, all I can say is, Volition to fix your game. Bring the crudity and the humour back. The story wasn't that important. I haven't even touched the fact that the 3 gangs, or technically 4 gangs, 5 if you include the zombies, in Saints Row the 3rd, are leaps and bounds better than the shit that's in the reboot. I haven't even touched on that. The luchadors, the deckers, they are so much more entertaining, so much more down to earth than the crap that's in the new one. Then you can go back to Saints Row 1 and 2, all the gangs in there. They are still so much better than the ones that are in the reboot. And it's not because the gangs are uninteresting. It's because of the, in brackets, politically correct bullshit you sprinkle on everything. A simple comment like having, whatever the fucking bodybuilders are in, I can't remember what they're called. In the new one, the big muscly guys in the new one. One of them have a comment of, yeah, oh, your thing shrunk so much you're like a Ken doll now. Of course, they are like Ken dolls. That kind of comment. It would never happen in that game. And that's why that game is failing. That's why those gangs are poo-poo. Because you call it poo-poo, not shit. Like, how much cooler is this gang? That! I don't think I've ever seen anything like that happen in the reboot. So, if the government agencies and the gaming industry wants to fix the gaming industry, you have to start at the root of the evil. CD Projekt Red, the criminal organisation that is screwing over 100% of their customer base by releasing the incorrect product and withholding the correct product for nearly 3 years now. Fix that. Then, Saints Row, if you want to save Saints Row, fart jokes, crude humour,
Violence can't solve everything.
be what you would call politically incorrect, but it is actually politically correct. Calling a fat person fat isn't politically incorrect. It's factual. They are fat. If you call a fat person fat, that's what they are. Saying you have to call a person who's homosexual happy, that's bad enough. But then saying you can't hate them because they're, in brackets, happy. In case you're wondering what I'm on about, the word gay means happy. Homosexuality and gayness are two completely different things. Homosexuality is liking the same sex. Gayness is being happy.
We need a camp plan surrounded by... Holy shit. There's zombies, man! We can't all
So,
of us alone! We need help! Ah,
stop.
Get out of me!
You're being, in brackets, politically correct. Put your fart jokes back in. Put your crude humour back in. Put your all this over the top funny stuff back in. No more loans. No more student loans. That was never Saints. That wasn't even close to being Saints. Let's look through the history of all the absolutely beloved characters in Saints Row and what their backstories were. Shaundy was a little drugged up little hoe. Gat was a friggin' skull smashing friggin' psychopath. Oleg, buff, jacked up, super guy. Kenzie, a hacker. The boss, or player, was a fucking street kid. Friggin' undercover cop. A criminal enterprise guy that ran a music industry. All this stuff is way more interesting than some guy that got a job, or some person who got a job at a military place and got fired because a gang stole a book. Surely you can see the problem with that. And if you can't, no wonder Volition has gone. Because I'm sorry, when you compare throwing some backstabbing slag out a window of a skyscraper, or some corporate leader guy in a suit blowing his brains out through the window of a skyscraper, to what happens in the reboot. Oh no, you do fight the guy on the roof and he T-poses in a lot of people's games. And oh no, you do get the part in the office with the chick and the marshal guy, and you can choose to shoot him in the head or let him go. Going up to the guy's office, pulling the pistol to his forehead, pulling the trigger and watch him go out the window, fall all the way to the ground and go splat, compared to sitting in a seat going pop, having to go slap back. No splat, no. Very, very lame.
Steelport can't have
I
boats
think the shooting him out the
still.
window wins by a long shot. Especially when you consider what you went through to get to that. So I'm out of here. Any Saints Row fans, by all means, please, in the comment section, put something along the lines of attention Volition. I want this. At Volition, at Saints Row, we need this. We need this. I want to see my comment section spammed with the penetrator, so that Deep Silver, Volition can look at it and go, oh, yeah, that's what our gamers are, aren't they? Perverts, degenerates, violence lovers. It's, yeah. We want to smack the shit out of people with a purple dildo bat, waffling and shit on the side of buildings. That is what Saints Row was about. And just to and note, do not support any company. CD Projekt Red, Dambuster, if they refuse to give the customer their product, which is breaking the law, do not support them. I have not played the Dead Island 2. I have it installed so I can check for updates. I'm waiting for the update. I bought a multiplayer game. I cannot host a multiplayer game because Dambuster and Deep Silver don't want to let me. Not because I can't, because they don't want to let me. That is against the law. CD Projekt Red don't want to give me the game I bought. Not because they can't, because they don't want to. It's against the law. So until that's fixed, the gaming industry is only going downhill.
Wonder how much a casino costs.
So I'm out of here. I will catch you all next time. Anyone who works at those companies, right in hell, I'm out of here. Catch us.